What's up, world? I'm Jesse.
I'm Colin.
I'm Dallas.
We're going to talk to you about the Bad Times at the El Royale review.
It's literally right there.
Spoiler review. That's behind me. So if you've ever wondered what it would be like for Tarantino to adapt an Agatha Christie novel, this is it. Bad Times at the El Royale. It takes place in the...
I think late 60s. I think like 69.
Bad Times at the El Royale is a story about a hotel on the border of California and Nevada that's been abandoned for a long time when suddenly...
I mean, it hasn't been abandoned. It just hasn't gotten good... No, it just hasn't gotten good business. That's what he said, was that the business dropped off, but not it was abandoned.
Miles was just like...
If it were abandoned, nobody would have worked there. It would have been like...
Well, they had one employee.
Decrepit and falling apart.
No, he was a good employee.
No, he wasn't. He was literally unconscious on drugs through half the movie.
Nobody ever walks in, so it's fine.
Couldn't let him get through the synopsis before you started arguing with him.
Anyway, it's a hotel. 4 strangers show up one day, and we basically just follow their exploits, find out who they are, their secrets. Their secrets. That's it. That's what they have. They have secrets and lots of them. And we're going to find out things about one of them.
I liked it. It felt really long. For some reason, I'm the only one who felt the fact that it was 2.5 hours. It might also be because of the nonlinear storytelling, which I'm not a huge fan of in this case, but yeah, it's a good movie. I like it. It's fun. It's a fun time. Fun time at the El Royale.
Trash. I like it a lot. Like a lot. I've seen it 3 times. It's great. And yeah, Demi and I were talking about it after we saw it, and neither of us felt the length. Like, I didn't even know it was that long the first 2 times I saw it.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought it was a standard 2-hour movie, you know? But yeah, I love it. I thought it, like, I have some minor issues with the storytelling and the way it was done, but other than that, I thought, like, the characters were all really strong, and it was compelling in the way it wove their narratives together.
Anyway, I really loved about 2/3 of this movie. I do feel it got unnecessarily long in parts, specifically 2 parts, one of which I think was a detriment to the movie. We'll get to that, and the other one was just the part where she's singing so Jeff Bridges can dig under the thing, but
that's cool.
Even then, I didn't think that was a big deal. She's like, we could have picked this shot up a minute into it.
Yeah.
Been fine.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, I liked all the characters, except for Chris Hemsworth. I liked the dialogue, and I felt, for the most part, that it was a slower movie compared to, like, the action blockbusters that were out there, but never unnecessarily slow except for those 2 parts, in my not-so-humble opinion. Starting with John Hamm's character.
Jesus.
Laramie
Sullivan.
He literally says
it's Laramie now.
He says Laramie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Laramie Seymour Sullivan.
Seymour Laramie.
Laramie Seymour Sullivan.
Whatever. Laramie.
Founder of the Seymour Sullivan Dome.
He is a vacuum salesman with a Doug Dimmadome voice.
Yeah.
And
not the only Fairly Odd Parents reference I'll make today.
Good.
Can you get me tickets to Crash Nebula?
On us?
Right.
Not right. He's a vacuum salesman with a Southern accent and a fondness for the word accoutrement. Because he says it like 6 times in the intro scene.
He wants to make sure you know that's his accoutrement.
It's just, that scene is so repetitive. Because every time he meets someone, he says, "This is my accoutrement.
It's hilarious.
I'm Doug Dimmadome and I sell vacuums."
Yeah.
And nobody runs this place. He's charming because it's John Hamm. Mm-hmm. Initially he was a bit like grating. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to deal with this the whole movie.
Yes.
But I tolerated it because it's John Hamm.
Well, also because, like, that's the point. And and then very soon they tell you it's okay. That's not what he's going to be for the whole movie.
So what'd you think of him?
Yeah, I liked him a lot. I felt the same way, where when he first showed up, I was like, oh, this is funny. This is still funny. This is less funny.
Yeah.
And, okay, come on. But then when they do the twist, when he's on the phone with his daughter, I loved it. Mm-hmm. I love the character of... Laramie is the salesman's name, right? So his name is...
Dwight Broadbeck. Agent
so I like
Broadbeck.
Both characters of Laramie Sullivan and Dwight Broadbeck for completely different reasons, obviously. I love I like the twist of, like, this is why I am this way, because it's all an act. Mm-hmm. and I love the phone call with the daughter. I thought was really good.
I mean, I liked him more as Laramie Seymour Sullivan than I did as Broadbeck because he didn't do much as Broadbeck.
Yeah.
Like I feel like he wasn't really a dude. He was just propelling the plot.
Man,
No, he was just like, the plot needs to move forward and I need to be the CIA agent to do it, so I'm going to do it. Like the scene where he's pulling wires out of the walls, as cool as that concept is, I thought that went on for too long.
So long.
Like I got the point. There
Yeah.
are so many. Oh my God. But like, okay, you could have done that a little quicker. But he was cool, but he did feel kind of like a plot device and less like a person.
And I think a lot of this movie, to me, there are a lot of scenes when I'm watching and I'm like, all right, we get it. Because he's pulling wires out of that room for like what felt like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Because he has to get
literally about 5 minutes.
he has to get the ones
That's a long
that
time.
he placed there as an FBI agent, and then he has to get the ones that someone else placed there. You could just cut to the shot of all the freaking wires, and we know there were a lot. We don't have
That's
to watch
fair.
him pull out each one. But yeah, once he became an FBI agent, or once we found out, it was like, cool, we know you have a family, and we know you're concerned about what's going on. But other than that, he didn't have much of a personality. He was just, I'm a good man who wants to help, which is great, but
Solid dude.
yeah, he's a solid dude.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Yeah, I think the unfortunate thing, going to what you were saying, I think just John Hamm just didn't get a lot to do because unfortunately he's not in the movie much.
Yeah.
He shows up, he does his thing, and then he's killed off within the first act. So it's the third
I
act.
feel like we were in the second act, but I don't think it was toward the end of it when he died.
Definitely not.
Because he died, we saw him
died-
die
he
like
died early
twice,
on.
2 or 3 times.
Died in the first half of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a long movie. Whatever, he died.
He died, and I think the thing that upsets me about that is because his character sets up an arc that this movie's going to take that it never takes, which is this government is after management because management is doing some shady stuff.
Speaking of John Hamm getting shot in the freaking chest, let's talk about who shot him. Emily Summerspring. It's a weird name, right?
They're
Summerspring.
all weird. His name's Laramie Sullivan.
Sullivan's a normal
Seymour
name.
Sullivan.
Laramie Seymour's a
Seymour
normal
Sullivan.
name. Whatever.
Seymour's not a normal name.
Emily Summerspring.
That's the older one, right?
Yes.
That's Dakota, not Fanning.
Johnson.
Johnson.
Thank you. Keep doing that.
She's stupid. Colin, what are your thoughts?
Wow, that was definitive.
Yeah.
I found her really interesting. I mean, I found her sister a little more interesting, but like,
Ooh, interesting.
I just thought it was interesting that you found what I said about something
interesting.
being interesting.
Well, no, I'm interested because you have a history of not liking characters who are crazy and that's it. And I felt like Rosie fell into that category. So I'm interested in your interest in her, given the fact that this is a character that you have previously shown interest in, or character type.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, I mean, I like Emily because I feel like she came into the story with like a plan in mind and a handle on the situation. She had 2 separate guns and she had a knife and she had the rope and she was ready to like, I'm here, I'm going to do what I need to do and then we're going to leave and it's going to be cool. I don't know. It's like everybody else has secrets to a certain extent, but she was like, not really, I have secrets, more like I am here, I have a plan, I'm going to carry my plan out and I'm going to leave. And the only reason to get involved in anything else is because fucking FBI agent had to bust her fucking door down.
It's just funny how much she failed at all of that.
See, here's
But
the thing.
Jesse,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on Emily?
I agree with both of you. I think she was very interesting. I love Dakota Fanning's performance in this movie. I've seen her in other stuff. This is my favorite performance she's ever done. And I think she was very stupid.
Okay.
Dallas, explain why she
Fair.
was stupid.
So, I've never had anyone tied up in the trunk of my car. But if I did, and I was going to a hotel, I'd want to make the lowest profile entrance I possibly can. I will not Tokyo drift into the parking lot.
Well, especially, forget drawing attention to yourself. You have a human being in your trunk.
At the
Don't
same
slam on the
time,
brakes
though,
at any point.
that draws attention to her, but then she comes in and is immediately like, I don't want anything to do with any of you. So you're not going to investigate her because she doesn't want anything to do with you. You're not going to go talk to her.
If we're all in a hotel and someone just through the parking lot comes in with their freaking Kevin Feige shades and walks up and the guy's like, could you sign the thing? And she's just writing expletives on it. Like, first off, just use a fake name.
That's
You don't need to just be a dick to people because people notice that.
Right.
You want to
Yeah.
just be a regular person. When you take the girl out of your trunk who was tied up, and you drag her into the room, close your door. You don't leave your hotel door wide open while you adjust her freaking chair or whatever the hell you're doing.
And get the rope and
to this. Aston's like, oh my God. She's so dumb. Also, when she shoots Doug Dimmadome with a shotgun, her door is also open. Every crime she commits, she does in a hotel with an open door.
Would the door have closed again? We don't know what damage he did to the door.
I think he broke it open.
The door is open because he literally busted it open and was immediately a threat. So no, she's not
never tried to close that door.
Well, because he's in the room and she has a gun pointed at him.
That's a good point Colin's making.
Like,
maybe it just wouldn't.
What is she going to do?
Just like,
oh, wait, hold on. Don't punch me again. Let me get up and close the door after you already knocked me down.
If you want to shoot him, where's he going to go? You're between him and the door and you have a shotgun. Also, he's not doing anything to your sister. He's not a threat to her. So you know this man is trying to save your sister because he thinks you kidnapped her.
Obviously there.
He's not a threat. Be like, hey, misunderstanding. This is my sister. I'm saving her from evil Thor.
Yeah.
Also, I have a gun at you, so don't hit me again.
Big ass gun.
But at least try to close the door. Because at this point, even if you haven't shot him, you have a shotgun pointed at this man.
You know, it's funny because I'm thinking this is the type of movie where that joke could have worked too, where she has the gun, she closes the door behind her with her foot or something, and it just like swings the other way.
Yeah, like at least show that she thought about it.
Yeah.
Okay, once you shoot this man, door open or closed.
Leave.
You need to go. Because why are you still here?
Well, the why is that she
saw fake Tom Holland in the hallway.
Saw fake Tom Holland in the hallway.
Okay, so it's either to shoot him and leave, take him with you and leave. There's no situation in which I just shot a man at a hotel and I'm still there.
Yeah.
Well, it sounded like what she was planning to do was kill everybody else and then leave.
Right, and she didn't. So it's like all your plans you don't do.
There is a reason. I agree it's stupid. The reason is she doesn't want to kill people. However, she will if she has to. So the whole thing was her seeing if she had to. She goes to check on Darlene to see if Darlene knows anything, if she's suspicious at all. She goes to talk to Miles, like, tell me how I can possibly not kill you. She gives him a chance to save his own life, basically.
Which it bothers me because she's so trigger happy with John Hamm because the movie wanted him to die.
Yeah.
But she has all the restraint in the world in every other situation.
But that was kind of the point. She's not a professional killing person. You know, she's...
Jesse, would you close the door before you shot someone in the face?
I'd like to think I would. You know, with the heat of the moment, you're not always thinking things through.
Would you drive slowly and carefully and nonchalantly if you had someone in your trunk?
Oh, definitely.
See?
Yeah. Depends who's in the trunk.
No, you would not. If you had someone in your trunk, you would think it was an action movie and you would drive pedal to the metal.
Saying it depends.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter who's in the trunk.
Colin, if Dallas was in the trunk, I would drive super slowly.
No, you would not.
I'm doing donuts.
If you have someone in the trunk, you're driving like a bat out of hell because it's an action movie and you want to look cool.
So you like Emily, right?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I like pretty much everybody in this movie. So.
Yeah.
What do you like about Rosie? Because I want to hear your thoughts.
Oh yeah, Rosie.
I like, I guess, not so much her, but like the idea of somebody taken in by a cult. I think is really interesting. And like what
Katie Holmes
makes you the type of person who would want to do that. Like his speech that he gives about like good and evil. Like I guess I can see what he's saying, but I feel like there's got to be more to it than that. I mean, yes. Okay,
especially
valid.
because she was in the cult before that.
She was in the cult before that, and she was already like, okay, you want me to fight some girl for you? I'll do it. And also, like, he was able to convince her to murder people? Like, I want to know what that was about. Why was she down to murder that pediatrician and his wife?
See, here's the problem, is because I literally think... Well, I mean, the only explanation the movie really gives us is he's hot. And that kind of seems to be it.
And she's crazy.
She's crazy, but she's crazy...
Is she, though? Was she before him? I don't know that she was.
Well, they do specifically say there was no violence before.
Yeah,
right.
which
But
I don't
say it in
think
a way that
is...
implies like she was still crazy, she just wasn't violent. That is my single biggest problem with the movie, is that I feel like at the last minute, suddenly Emily and Rosie become the most important characters in this movie. Even though Darlene and Father Flynn have been for the rest of the movie, and after, you know, the whole shootout of it. Spoilers, by the way.
We know.
I don't know if I'd say that they were the most important characters in the movie. They were
only in
the central characters, but not the most important. Once you
who are you
say
talking about?
someone, Darlene and Father Flynn, once you say someone has a hostage, someone has someone tied up, they're the most important
Well,
characters
see,
in the
that's what I
movie.
mean. So, Darlene and Father Flynn are the characters that are Most important. I'm going to keep using that. But for whatever reason, Emily and Rosie's story becomes the most important, but only for this 30-minute section when Chris Hemsworth shows up at the hotel. And that throws me off because then we start asking questions like why, how did Rosie get from A to B? If that's so important to know these things about Emily and Rosie, it's weird that we don't get more screen time with them and we get more with Flynn and Darlene when they're not the ones whose story is ultimately going to affect this story.
The movie does raise a lot of questions that it doesn't answer.
Yeah.
But I also don't think we're supposed to know where we're going to end up. So I think it's just like, here are a bunch of characters. Follow who we're telling you to follow. And then, surprise Chris Hemsworth. But as far as following Rosie, I hate Rosie. Rosie is my least likable character. Least ever. Oh my God. Because all Rosie really is a crazy, problematic, troublesome girl who is just causing problems for Emily and everyone toward the end, we find out. And what are her redeeming qualities?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like, we got to a point when I was like, oh no, she's tied up. I feel bad for you. And then, once she's talking, I was like, oh no, you're a problem. And then we got to the end, I was just like, somebody shoot her, please. And then she stabs Miles, and I was like, oh no.
We'll get to Miles.
Somebody really needs to shoot her now because she killed freaking Spider-Man. But, yeah, I hate Rosie. What do you think of Rosie?
Yeah, I think she's really freaking dull. I was just so bored every time she was on screen. Like, when other characters were doing or saying things, I'm like, cool, you're making me laugh, you're making me cry, you're giving me more about who you are as a person. Mm-hmm. Every time Rosie was on screen, I'm like, you're there. You're a doorstop. Congratulations. And I was just, I'm more with you, right?
Yeah, forget Rosie.
Sorry, Colin.
You don't have to apologize. You have a right to your opinion.
Colin, I'm sorry.
This isn't my movie. I didn't come up with the character.
I hate your favorite character.
Well, she's not my favorite.
She's no one's favorite character. But let's talk about who is probably someone's favorite character.
I was going to say, Rosie would be my least favorite character in the movie if it wasn't for another character who just dominates the movie so hard when he shows up. Because at least she's just there. She's in the background. It's fine.
Rosie's favorite character
shows up.
Billy Lee.
Billy Lee, played by Chris Hemsworth, who, before I bash this character,
okay, go for it,
gives a great performance.
He was fantastic.
Hemsworth is fantastic as Billy Lee.
He's great.
Billy Lee, on the other hand, oh my God, if there was anyone I was more bored with on screen than Rosie, it was Billy.
Which is so strange to me.
I wish there had been more of him before to show what he was actually about.
Yeah.
Because he gives one speech, and I guess that speech is decent, but that speech could be just a group of people living together, not a cult. So I wanted to know what made it a cult, what made him so compelling, what was he actually about besides screw the man? Because a lot of people say that and don't go on to form cults.
Well, I think, you take that philosophy that he has with narcissism. It's like a narcissism personality disorder, which I've always wondered, at what point does it just go from character flaw to legitimate personality disorder? Because narcissism...
Somewhere around 2006.
Okay. But I think it's the level of... if you're cult leader levels of narcissistic, then it's okay, this is a problem. This is a psychological issue. I think if you take that and mix it with this philosophy, he's you know what? Forget the man. I'll be the man. Everybody just follow me instead. As far as how I felt about the character, I thought he was very interesting. I liked him.
So cool. We all have different takes on all these different characters.
Yeah, I thought
that's what happens when people have differing opinions.
But it
it's
also,
magic,
but it doesn't happen at every movie.
Oh my gosh.
This movie does this. Not every movie does this.
Yeah.
You don't go watch, Transformers and have deep, differing discussions on Mark.
That's because Transformers doesn't ask you to think.
Right. That's what I'm saying. This movie is asking us to think. And look, we have thoughts.
See, I thought it was very interesting, probably because of the performance more than you're a cult leader. Just the way he did things was interesting, the way he plays the roulette game with Emily and Miles, yeah. And he's he has her pick a color, and then he's just I guess that makes you black, altar boy, and everybody's oh my God, not Miles. Also, I think the first thing we see Billy do is
strip naked,
pull his dick out in front of Rose, who might be a teenager at the time. So he had to work his way up from that to me.
Is he fully naked? I was trying to figure it out. Because we don't see his underwear land on the beach. That's why I was wondering.
No, when we went to see it, though, I don't know if you remember, but we see a lot more than we see in the final cut.
Oh, do we?
You
I
see
don't know how Colin would forget
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think we
then
do.
they color graded it in the final cut, and now you can't.
Well, you can tell it's a butt.
You
But
can
don't
tell it's a
see
butt.
like
Right.
but
But
you know it's a butt.
you know it's a butt.
So at this point, I'm like, how old is this girl?
Not old enough?
Because he is predatorily.
You think he
luring
cares?
her.
Like,
the
That's
thing,
my
that is
problem.
Part of his character.
Because like you can be a villain without preying on possibly teenage girls.
Not
Like
all villains are
if you're a
rapists.
cult leader,
all bad
though,
guys are rapists.
don't be that guy. Like
look,
you know,
random teenage girl on the beach who doesn't seem to have anybody around her. That's like prime. I'm gonna get you into my cult material.
yeah, just don't pull your dick out while you do it. Sorry.
I don't know why you're asking
Well,
him to be a decent human
that's the
being when
thing,
he's
is my
a cult
thing is-
leader.
If you're gonna introduce this guy as the worst person, I don't have a problem with him doing bad things.
He did though. He literally
If
did.
you're gonna be a dick, right? If you're gonna be evil,
Use
and
your
you
dick.
do evil things, use your dick, right? No. That was Colin. Colin said it. That's it.
All right. Back to Billy.
Back to Billy. My problem with him is
Oh, yeah.
that other than the statutory rape scene, we get no buildup for him whatsoever.
Mm.
And we do get tons of buildup for all these other story arcs.
Mhm.
All that kind of gets shoved aside. I know we still get to Darlene and Flynn and Miles in that scene,
Mhm.
but really it's focused on Hemsworth, who comes out of nowhere in the third act, and suddenly the entire movie is about him. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care that you're a cult leader. I don't care that you have this philosophy of there is no good, there is no evil, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what does that have to do with the story?
Mhm.
It has nothing to do with the story. And we pause the movie for 30 minutes so he can monologue. And then finally, at a point, it feels like the movie picks up again, where he's talking to Darlene and she has the, like, people talk, but really they just want to fuck who they want to fuck
Yeah.
kind of thing. And then, Father Flynn tackles him and stuff. And after that point, the movie becomes great again.
Mm.
But there's just huge chunk of the third act where I'm like, why is any of this that's happening?
Mm.
And it was weird because for me, he was the opposite of Rosie, where when he was on screen, the things he was saying, the things he were doing, I'm like, you are making me laugh.
Mhm.
You are being intriguing with the way you're saying things.
Yeah.
But I just don't care because I was watching a movie and you interrupted my movie. It's like if freaking Robin Williams stood up in the middle of the movie theater and started doing jokes, I'm like, I love you because you're Robin Williams, but I was trying to watch a movie.
Well, I
Get
think
out
at
my
this
movie.
point, I would not want that. That would be kind of weird. Is necromancy involved?
Speaking of-
Okay.
Anyway,
All right.
Jesse
my
likes
point
dead
is,
people.
Yes,
Hemsworth, you're great, but move so I can finish watching the movie, please.
I get it.
That's how I felt.
I get it. It didn't bother me as much. I get why you feel that way.
Within that scene, though, there are great character moments.
Oh yes.
There are. Like, Miles. That transition started off stronger than it ended.
Yeah, you kind of petered out. At the
Yeah, it
end
really did.
Peter.
Peter.
Peter Parker. Tom Holland. Spider-Man.
This is not Tom Holland looking dude named
Lewis Pullman.
Lewis Pullman, Bill Pullman's kid. Big fan of his dad, and now I'm a big fan of his. He is one of two people in this movie who I've never seen before,
Mm.
and I'm now really looking forward to seeing more of because he was great.
He was
I thought he was
really
great.
good.
Yeah.
Would-
I thought he was great. I just like that sort of like twitchy, nervous
Mhm.
character. I also just really like how relatable he was in terms of like I have to give this speech. I'm gonna come out. I'm gonna come up behind the guests. I'm gonna do the whole thing, and then like Dakota Johnson interrupts him, and he's just like, "Oh, well, I was supposed to
You're talking about
like
the
what?
Royale. Welcome
Yeah,
to
like
Royale.
what do I do now? I was supposed to give my speech. You just kind of like, all right, just take the key, just leave. Like I don't want to be here. You don't want to be here.
He's great. When I first saw him, I was like, so if Tom Holland played Norman Bates, this is what we get.
Definitely.
And
He does kind of look like a mashup of Freddie Highmore and Tom Holland.
yeah, I was like, new Norman Bates.
It's like the face mash effect that they do sometimes.
Yeah,
and then
you get Lewis Pullman.
You get Lewis Pullman. Yeah.
Just in this movie. He initially, I was like, I don't know how I feel about you. I'm kind of on the fence about you so far. But then as the movie went on, he got better and better for me. He's just such a nice guy. When
Yeah.
he shows
He
up
really is.
and he's with all these shady people and Darlene. And it's just trying to do his job.
Mhm.
Because for some reason, he's the only person who works there. It's like the Krusty Krab.
Because it's an abandoned hotel.
Well, no, the Krusty Krab has two employees.
And they have twice the
Two
employees,
employees
of the
and a
LOL.
manager.
Yeah,
3
There-
employees, really.
He has a manager. He's management.
And Patrick
Somewhere.
shows up sometimes.
Doesn't work there.
doesn't he get a job there for like a day?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Every once in a while he works there.
My only issue with Miles is that they spend not a lot of the movie, but he keeps saying, I've done terrible things. I've done
Mhm.
terrible things. I've done terrible things. And that turns out to be,
I had the same issue.
I was in the military and I killed a bunch of people. And yes, that's awful. But when he says I've killed 126 people, I think he's just like, I had a knife and I was just about it, you know?
Well, okay. I actually love that because I agree. It's not, when you realize what it is, it's a little disappointing because
Yeah.
you're expecting something horrible. But I love that for his character because of, first of all, I know real military people who feel that way. Like, I am a terrible person because I went to war and I served and I killed people. But like this, for this character of Miles, the fact that that is what he considered to be the horrible thing just says so much about who he is as a person.
Yeah.
It made me like him more as a
It's
person.
kind of what makes him great.
And I also love the way that this movie plays with your expectations at every moment. And there are two really obvious examples. The one from Miles is when he goes, I can't do it anymore, can't do it anymore, can't do it anymore. I can't kill any more people. Because the first time he says that, you hear, both times we've seen the movie, the audience go,
Yeah.
and then she goes, how many people have you killed? And he goes, 123. And again, you hear,
What?
and I remember the first time I was like, oh, don't give me the actual number because that's way too many. And again, I'm thinking Norman Bates. And I'm like, that's just a ridiculously exaggerated number. And no serial killer has ever killed 123 people. Like, you could have just said more than I can count or something. Why you got to give me a specific number? And then they cut to black and they have the title card. Maintenance closet is what it says. And I love it because I think it was you when I was watching the second time and you're like, I don't want to see this. But yeah, so we're all thinking we're about to see Norman Bates just slaughtering a bunch of guys.
Slashing everyone.
And then we cut to Vietnam. And we see him just bah, 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 and then the last survivor of his unit. I thought that was beautiful and awesome. And so when he goes full Terminator mode 2 seconds later, I get it. I get why
it's completely
he's been the way
earned.
he's been this whole time, and I get why he is the way he is right now. And I love that he goes back to shaky, twitchy Miles right after he drops the gun. It's great.
All of that.
Cool.
Like, you said everything I was going to say. Just because, like, yeah, when I'm watching it and he keeps saying, I've done horrible things. And I'm like, what do you eat people? Like, what is it? What do you do? It was one of those things that it's bittersweet because in my own messed up mind, I was like, what's he do? What'd he do? Oh my God, we're going to find out. And it's like,
Just waiting for like a Sweeney Todd montage.
Okay.
You could also include the I'm filming people having sex and selling it.
Yeah, but even he, I don't know if he said it. Yeah, he does. He says, that's not even what I was trying to confess.
Right.
Like, that's-
Yeah. So he's like, yeah, I've killed 123 people. I want to
Which
talk
again, I love
about
that line because it's one of those you don't quite notice that you heard it at first. I mean, it's not like it's subtle or anything. They close up and he says it, but it just doesn't register until the
Yeah, because it's kind of like a response to like when he's like, so you
But when you
watching
go back,
people?
you're like, man, it's not even what you're trying to confess.
Yeah.
The moment where he kicks the gun up and catches it is like one of the biggest cheer moments of 2018. He's like, yeah, Miles! Get it! Get it!
And I also love like that moment between him and Darlene because she's like, we need help. And at this point, she doesn't know he's a super soldier. She just sees that he can access the gun. And she's like, we need help. Miles, help us. And he's like, I can't do it. And she's like, how many people have you killed?
Right.
And he says it with the 1,000-yard stare, 123. And she's like, you don't have to do this anymore. Like, you know what? We'll just die. Guess I'll die.
I'll die.
Because she's like, I can see in your face you can't kill anymore. Which is kind of weird because she's like, you don't have to do it anymore. He's like, oh, in that case.
No, but see, I love that. That's when I love when he realizes it's like there's no burden on him and it's his choice.
Yeah.
He can choose to do the right thing here, which happens to be murder a lot of more people.
Yeah, add to that kill count. I love that the movie didn't do that thing where someone like hides behind the couch and they have to peek out to get shot because he just shoots
they
through it.
did do that.
Well,
but they
just
didn't
with the
'cause-
car.
Oh yeah.
But even then, he didn't have time to peek out. He was like, "Pah," and he gets shot before he has time to
Like
look out.
Miles is just.
But yeah, I did
alright,
love
cool.
where he just shoots through the couch. Like, it's not a bulletproof couch. It's a couch. Bam. Can shoot you through it.
But I hate the fact that he gets killed by Rosie because he, for some reason, thought, I'm going to kill all these cult people except for this one. Because I guess he just sees her as a victim, which, like, fine.
Just like she's
but
a little girl,
as far as you know, it's
child.
Billy and his cult goons, and you shot all of them. Rosie is one of those people.
Yeah.
You know, at least that she's unhinged. He might not know she's dangerous or violent. He didn't see her stab those people.
True.
But, like, I'm at the very least keeping you at a safe gun distance. I'm not going to walk up to you and be like, I'm so
Drop
sorry.
my gun.
I'm so sorry that I killed your friends. I didn't like the way Miles went out. But he was... Rest in peace, Miles.
But I do love his death scene where he's sitting there dying and Father Flynn comes up to him and is like, confess, I'm totally a priest. I've been a priest the whole time. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
then,
I did like
it's a
that
moment.
because she's like, help him.
Right.
He's like, what do you want me to do? I'm not a doctor.
Right.
He's like, no, help him. Like, be the priest.
And because
So-
Father Flynn was great.
And the way he's freaking out, I'm sure it's because of his face and the way he's looked. I was getting, I don't want to go vibes from it. And I was like, this is why, I think, fun fact, I read this in 2 different places. They wanted Tom Holland for this role. They tried to get Tom Holland, and Tom Holland said, no. All right, Miles.
So Father Philip.
Yeah,
I tried.
The guy who saved his soul.
Yeah.
Daniel Doc Flynn, because his real name isn't Daniel Flynn.
See, okay, is his real?
His real name is
real name, but they do call him Doc.
No, it's his initials. We learned his name.
They do say his name.
Oh, do they?
In the court, yeah.
It's like
Donald O'Kelly, I think.
Sure. One of those.
But like he's in court and they say, name here, I sentence you to 12 years or whatever. Yeah.
Nice.
12 years a slave.
So name here was a great character. Jeff Bridges. I think if anyone's going to get nominated for this movie, Jeff Bridges is the most likely candidate. But also he has the most like obviously good performance because he cries, which makes it more.
And he talks into the camera for like 5 minutes about his like dementia and all that. Yeah. He's just like, he's talking to Darlene and then the camera is just like, here guys, watch Jeff Bridges
break your heart.
Be sad.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man.
But man, when he said,
I'm sad.
That was sad.
That was sad.
Dude, when he goes, did I tell you my real name?
Oh man.
As soon as Billy says like, what's your real name? I was like, he doesn't know it. Mm-hmm. He doesn't know it.
Same thing, he's gonna forget it.
He does some real good acting. Like there's a lot of moments where you can tell that he wants to cry, but he doesn't. Mm-hmm. There's sort of that strength there of like, I'm not gonna cry in front of this woman, but like, man, I really want to. Like that's real impressive. And just like his character was interesting. I kind of wish I had known why he wanted to rob a bank.
He's a bank robber.
Probably money. Like
okay, but like did he need it for something, or was it just like I want money? Because every time someone in a movie but I feel like every time someone in a movie robs a bank, they're either
they have someone sick,
just a criminal, or they have a sick relative, or they have a kid or something.
Well, I do like that they gave him one at the end because he's like, I'm dying, I don't need this money. However, I worked hard for that money and my family died for that.
My brother died, so I'm not going to not get this money back.
So I do like, for the majority of the movie, he does have a reason. Initially, we don't know why he was robbing the bank.
But like, the way they present it, like, this is what they do. Like, they're like the dudes from the town. Like, they're masked up. They got the whole situation. They got a new guy in the crew who is either bent or stupid.
Mm. But even throughout the movie, he's got these little... He does have that I'm a little scatterbrained thing throughout the... It's more subtle, but he's just, like, not all there, kind of...
Yeah, when he first shows up. And we find out later that he didn't remember why he was there. He was lost. The fact that you're here for that specific of a purpose, with that specificity, and you just randomly forget everything sometimes. Like, you're there to go to a specific hotel, go to a specific room, dig up the floor, and find a bag of money. And at any point, you can just forget everything that I just said. Like, you need backup.
Well, even a lot of this movie happens because he forgets which room. Again, the way this movie plays with your expectations, because you see what you're presented as a Catholic priest in the 60s, being a little too nice to this woman. You have certain expectations, and the movie knows that. And it kind of plays with that. And the moment where he takes... I thought the same way you did. When you saw I killed 123 people. You're like, I don't want to see this. When he pulls out the drug to drug her, I was like, I don't want to see this. Another Catholic priest is going to be a rapist in a movie. I was like, yeah. And then it wasn't that. And I love that. But I also love that the movie was like, you're expecting it to go this way, and we know it, that you're expecting it to go this way, so we'll let you think it's going this way. And then just pull the rug out from under you.
And she will
like, no.
crack the hell out of him with that bottle.
Fine. Oh, yeah.
And I thought he was dead. She hit him with all of the strength.
Especially bad for him getting hit specifically in the head. Like, he already has memory problems.
Right? Like, I'm surprised he woke up. Like,
right?
And woke up with the same level of mental problems that he had before.
If you're going to hit somebody with a bottle, that's where you hit them to knock them out. But, like, his brain's already scrambled enough as it is.
But I also love the scene where he wakes up and Miles is like, what the hell happened? And he's just like... He's like, pour me a drink. I do it myself, but look what happened.
Exactly. He plays that whole thing off.
I fell down. I'm old.
Shit happens. Get the whiskey.
Yeah.
That's such a good line.
Well, I'm old. I fell down. Like nah, bro.
I'd buy it. If an old man told me that, I'm like, I'd buy it because you're an old man.
I'm like,
and I think
you had to be holding the glass, holding the bottle, and then you fall face first onto it.
Yeah. That's how old people fall, Dallas. Bam. You ever seen an old person fall? It's the worst possible way to fall.
It's terrifying.
Every senior citizen should have life alert.
Just talk about The chick
chick
who
who hit him.
cracked him in the head
Yeah.
with that bottle.
Darlene, my other possible favorite character.
Darlene Sweet. So part of the problem I have with this marketing is it's like 7 strangers come to a hotel. They all have dark, deep secrets.
Yeah.
Darlene doesn't. She just wants to sing.
Yeah, she's
Like-
the protagonist.
Her thing is, I want to sing.
Yeah,
and
but
I'm black
most
in the 60s.
protagonists have something going on. Darlene really doesn't.
She just wants to sing. And she's like, she's a great character by comparison of not being evil or shady.
Person.
Like, yeah, she's a great person. But as far as like interest level, I like Cynthia Erivo's performance is great.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the line she has later talking to Billy. Like, her dialogue when she's talking to people is good. But from like story's perspective,
Fair.
She just wants to sing. Like when Tom Holland says like, "This is no place for a priest, Father." I'm like, this is no place for Darlene. This is a bunch of criminals and
You don't know that at the time.
heathens. And
Well, again,
she's just
the
a nice woman.
expectations. We're playing up the expectation that she is, say, a woman of the night.
Yeah,
That's what John
maybe.
Hamm thinks.
Yeah,
She's
he's like, she
bringing
doesn't want to be
that
near the
with her.
priest because, you know, she's a prostitute.
Yeah, and that's what this hotel is used for, usually.
And she doesn't deny it. She didn't say anything.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, maybe you are a prostitute who sings really well. Whatever. But no, she just sings really well.
Just,
But I liked her. What'd you think?
Yeah, I liked her, but that's mainly because of Cynthia Erivo's performance.
Mhm.
The character herself was pretty thin. Like, she's at this hotel because she needed a hotel. And there's no other reason. She has no secrets. Her secret is, I'm poor.
Yeah.
That's not a secret. Like, you're poor
Another
and your
fact.
life kind of sucks. And it also felt like from beginning to end, nothing really happened with her. Her goal at the beginning was, I'm going to go to Reno, I'm going to sing. At the end, she goes to Reno and she sings, and maybe she has
yeah,
a little
but she's
bling on,
stunned
but
when
that's
she
it.
gets there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she
but
has
then
bank robbery money.
that's the whole point, is that you don't have to do that anymore. That was the whole thing that Mr. Sunday was saying, was like, that's where you're going to end up. And that's where she ends up. Why not show that she's progressed? Why not show that she's done something better? Like
Interesting.
Jeff Bridges at least has a nice white suit on. He's also going to die in like 5 minutes, so who cares? But like,
We're going to adapt and tell you what she's singing. It's going to be so depressing.
I'm surprised he showed up. Knew I was supposed
surprised
to
he
do something
remembered
today.
and showed up. Yeah.
She's going to be, this so hard. Oh my God, he's dead.
This whole heart of his is
It broke one last time.
broke one last time. Oh, we're terrible.
Anyway, so my thing is Darlene wants to sing.
Mhm.
She was like, singing is singing. So I feel like when Mr. Sunday is the guy's name?
Yeah.
The
Yeah, I
weird
thought
guy?
that was weird too.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Mr. Sunday tells her, you're going to end up.
Brought to you by Mac Weldon.
That's a deep cut for YouTube.
It
thing.
really is.
Mr.
If they're
Sunday's like,
watching us.
yeah, you're going to end up in Reno singing for blah, 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 blah. And I think it was, you're going to end up there because you have to. And where
Yes.
we got was, she's there because she wants to.
It was the same
She
thing
wants
as
to sing.
you don't have to kill any more people, Miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
Darlene ends up there because singing is singing for her.
Mhm.
This is what she wants to do. So it's not like, I'm here for a paycheck. I'm here because I need this.
You don't need that paycheck.
It's, I'm here because I want to sing. I'm on stage. Thanks for coming to see me. And also, I'm pretty sure she's the headliner at that point. She's not opening for
Think so?
whoever you open for in the
Didn't seem
60s.
like anyone else.
Yeah, she's like, you guys here to see me in my stunting ass dress. Thanks for coming.
Which is weird because I thought that was a really cheap looking dress, but it was the 60s. So.
I don't know dress stuff. Economics.
Like goals, Cinderella. Anti goals, Beauty and the Beast. Said I loved her, but yeah,
Okay.
I kind of agree with you guys. Yeah, she was standard protagonist. Yeah, she was. Yeah, but name I'm terrible at these.
Cynthia
Darlene
Erivo.
Thank you. I don't even have
Darlene?
like a she looks
I don't
like this
know.
other person. Cynthia Erivo
She doesn't.
was great, and again, like Bill Pullman's kid. I wanna
Lewis.
see-
Lewis Pullman.
I want to see more of her.
Yeah,
Go
I'm
for
gonna
it.
pay
And I'm-
attention to her name
And
when it
what I'm
comes up.
excited about is that at least with her, not with
Lewis
Tom
Pullman.
Holland list.
Jesus Christ.
She has a movie coming up, Widows.
Widows.
So I get to see her relatively soon playing
She's-
what looks like a completely different character.
Yeah.
Nice.
She's
So
boxing.
I'm
She's
really
sprinting.
excited to see her in that movie.
She's widow number
Now
3.
just, give the pool man something to do.
Let's talk about, the visuals and such.
We already did that. The visuals.
And such.
Oh, this movie's gorgeous. I love the cinematography in this movie.
It's it's a
Yeah,
pretty looking movie.
it's pretty.
The
Looking.
looks.
And it was funny because the movie's out. When we saw it was unfinished. So a lot of those shots were CGI, which you would not have
Ah.
known watching the final cut. We only know because when we saw it was like cartoon.
Nice.
So I actually thought, it was really impressive. I'm like, I didn't think this movie would have the best effects 2018, but it's up there. But every time they drive up to the hotel,
Mm-hmm.
it's a CGI shot.
Okay.
Again, watching
like
it the
that.
second time, I'm like, I can't tell.
Yeah. I just figured,
Like that shot.
they went to a hotel and they filmed the movie.
Yeah, with their own setting because that's what people do.
It was fine. It didn't do anything particularly noteworthy, but it didn't do anything that like stuck out as bad. It was just kind of like it was a movie.
It was a movie.
Like I don't know. Sometimes I'll watch something
like
and
a
like
movie.
I can tell they're doing really cool things with like lighting or something like that. In this movie, I didn't really notice any of that.
I agree with both of you. So I didn't notice a lot of like the stuff, but the stuff I did notice, I was like, that looks really good. I love the look of the hotel. I love the California, Nevada aesthetic.
Yeah. Outdated 60s look.
I wanted it to matter more to the story.
The visuals?
No, the fact that this hotel is split down the middle between California and Nevada.
Okay.
But
I think
that's not a like real big issue.
It's not.
I
But
just
also,
like thought it was like, ooh, what's gonna happen? Is it gonna be like some Nevada gangsters, some California gangsters gonna
Well, I
like?
think it was playing into the
fight?
whole "there's no good and evil" message that this movie's trying to push on you. Because it's like here you got sunny California, where the serial killers are, and then here you have ostensibly bad Nevada with the smoking and the gambling and the drinking, but also this is where all the opportunity is. Okay, so you guys are already talking about things you didn't notice with the cinematography. I want to talk about the sound design
Do that.
because that is something that I did notice because I'm a nerd.
You are a nerd.
But the sound design in this movie is incredible. Just moments of people walking, like John Hamm in the secret tunnels is a perfect example of like him
Secret tunnels,
walking
like
past the windows.
Secret tunnels through the mountains.
tunnels.
Secret tunnels. What is the problem?
Yeah, so John Hamm in the tunnel for 40 minutes.
John Hamm in the tunnel for 40 minutes. Yeah, the sound was great. The way that there was just enough sound before he would hit the microphone.
Mm-hmm.
So like you could hear people behind the window, but also it sounded muffled. And then you hit the microphone, you can hear her singing, and the way the sound comes in and out and kind of scores the scene a little bit.
Yeah, it does.
Because every time when he's looking at another window, her singing just magically becomes ominous or whatever, depending on what it needs.
It's like in the background.
Yeah, and there's little things like that. Like, there's something when Hemsworth is giving his boring ass speech. Oh God, what was it? I think it's like there is something in the background. I think it might just be the rain or the storm or something. No, it wasn't the fire because the thing wasn't on fire yet. Something in the background is just doing like that tea kettle noise, like just like build the tension. I was like, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
Really
I
good.
feel it.
A lot of little things like that.
And I do like the way that, regardless of what he's looking at now, we hear her singing.
Mm-hmm.
Either when he's looking at her, we hear her singing like vibrantly, loudly, or when he's walking down. But I also, that was one of the scenes that felt like, come on, guys, we've been here long enough for me, because I get that this is the first time he's seeing this and he's taking it all in, but it's like, you were looking at like 3 rooms for like an hour. What felt like an hour. And that scene just feels way too long to me.
Yeah.
Because like, I think it might be because we're getting it through John Hamm's perspective. And it's like, if you just show all of these things happening in their rooms, it wouldn't feel super long. But
Because we have to walk with
I'm
him.
thinking about the fact that right now the character I'm following is John Hamm. So I'm just watching him watch these things. And it's just like, all right, move on.
See, I
move to the
agree.
next one.
Obviously, I think if you had done that, though, if you cut from just room to room to room like a normal movie would do, yes, it would make it faster, but also I feel like it would make it less interesting. And
Like-
the movie's not what the movie is.
Jeff Bridges' thing would be a lot more less interesting. Just watching him listen to music, definitely. And her singing, yeah, like for this story structure, that's why they did it.
Mhm.
I just feel like they could have done it faster.
But also, it's building up the suspense. If you just cut to things happening, there's no suspense.
Well, I just feel
Whereas
like
if you had this
they
buildup
built
of
it.
What the hell is happening for so long?
I feel like they built it like long before the scene ended. For me,
That's fair.
I was like, I feel the tension, I feel the suspense. Go do something about it, John, because you're still in this freaking hallway. But that's just a.
See, that's the thing. I
personal
think that's where we feel differently.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, the story structure is that's kind of how it is. Where it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we're going to spend a lot of time building things,
Mm-hmm.
and then we're going to flashback. And we're going to build, things.
Yeah.
And then we're not going to pay him off because Chris Hemsworth. But other than that, I liked the way that we were building up all this stuff for the entire movie.
I mean, I like the structure and I like the way that they did it.
Mhm.
Because I am in general, I don't tend to like nonlinear narratives because I'm not a very smart person, and as soon as you start messing with structure, I forget everything that's ever happened. Yeah, I'm not good at following stories that aren't presented to me in a very simple way. That being said, I think this one did it particularly well. It just, I don't know, it felt like it was plotted really well. like they had thought it out and they knew, okay, this is how we're going to do it. This is the order we're going to do it. And this is how it's all going to make sense. And it does make sense. Like I'm left with some questions, but not a lot of them are like confusion. It's like there are mysteries and that's okay. But it's not like no, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I feel like I'm also not a huge fan of nonlinear storytelling. And this did not make me a fan of it. But it's not, like you said, they did it very well. And I was like, given the way that you're telling the story, you're doing it well. And like, kudos, good job. But I just kind of wish that you were telling it in a slightly different way. Like, keep the nonlinear thing or whatever, but let's not drag everything as long as you do.
Sure.
Let's move some things a little faster.
Final thoughts on this movie?
I liked it. Felt a little draggy at parts. I feel like, we could have just...
What was that? Hand motion?
Like you're dragging. I don't know. Yeah, I liked it. Just, pick up the pace, Drew Goddard. All the acting is great, though. All the actors, you're all fantastic.
Except for Rosie.
Rosie, actor, you're fine. Your character's terrible. I'm sorry. You, go.
Jesus Christ. Just like come for her right out the...
Fanning his favorite character of all time.
Anyway, I loved it. I thought it was just a really solid mystery that worked really well, and I would definitely recommend it.
Yeah, I loved 2/3 of this movie. Hated the ending. I don't feel any particular way about nonlinear storytelling. You tell a story how you can tell a story. If you do it well, I'm in. Also, I feel like if you didn't tell us one non-linearly, then it just becomes there's nothing special about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of. But yeah, otherwise, I do recommend this movie to people out there who haven't seen it but are watching this review for some reason.
You can find us
on the medias.
Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, Instagram, Snapchat.
Totally.
What are they looking for on those? You just said you can find us. There we go.
I bet you figured it out by now.
I just feel like if you're going to say it.
Colin, sometimes people forget what they're doing in the middle of doing it.
True. We're thinking about getting a Reddit, but that's only if, we get enough fans to warrant that. All right, Jesse alone. Tell them where they can find you so you can do anything they want you to do.
On Twitter and Instagram at thejester1130. At thejester1138.
You can find me on Twitter if you look for me. They can find me.
Well, no, again, just type in Colin from the Reshoots. Like, what are they going to search?
What
are they going to facial scan you?
Yeah.
All right, facial scan Duck McGuck at Twitter and see what comes up.
Yeah. You find Colin at Darlene Not So Sweet on Twitter.
Whoa.
You can
Sorry, what?
You can find me on Twitter at a king named Simba. On Twitter.
Soundproof in those hotels.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't really have a future of the franchise for this one because why would there be? Most of them are
But
dead.
if there was, though.
If there was.
Well, at this,
sequel,
if we pick up at a sequel,
at the El Royale.
there's going to be one person from this movie left alive.
Yeah.
One.
She can tell the tale to the new batch of recruits who show up at the burnt out wreckage that is the El Royale Hotel.
Also, Andy Serkis's management.
Dude, that could be the sequel. It's just like a war between the FBI and management. It has nothing to do with any of these characters.
All right. Have fun out there.
Have fun out there.
Bye.
Bye.
Can't take my eyes off you.
Yeah, I'm about it.
He's about it.
We'll put that on the poster. Yeah, I'm about it. Colin. At Duck McGuck.
Did you give your thoughts on Jeffy Bridge?
Jeffy Bridge?
Father Flynn?
Is that old?
Jeff
Doc.
Bridges? Say Tom Holland.
He's great,
Call
though.
him Tom Holland the rest of the...
Tom Hollandish.
Not Tom Holland. Tom Hollander. Mr. Stark, you don't feel so good.
Why would he shoot Tony?
Have you met Tony?
That's fair.
Yeah. A lot of people want to shoot Tony.
Tony wants to shoot Tony.
Yeah. Colin, would you shoot Tony?
I don't like Tony, so yeah.
All right, cool.